Hello, everyone. Today I'm joined by Anthony Miles and Dr. Chelise Firmin. How are you both doing today?
We're
Great.
doing
Thank you.
excellent. Thank you, Tony.
Awesome. Thanks for joining. Now, today we're here to discuss LensRxLAB and the amazing and innovative work that you are both doing there. And Anthony, if you don't mind just kicking us off, if you could explain what is LensRxLAB?
LensRxLAB is a 51-49% joint venture between Bon Vivant Safety Eyewear and Tioga Optical Lab, QOZB LLC, which is Dr. Firmin's firm.
Understood. And what product are you offering?
LensRx offers three unique products, two healthcare delivery platforms,
Mhm.
and lens technology for pre-diabetic and diabetics. Now, our first healthcare delivery platform that we developed is specifically for government and corporate work sites. That platform provides safety, diabetic, and dress eyewear. It's the only platform in the entire country that offers all three. Our second platform is specifically for healthcare, hospitals, healthcare institutions, health insurance companies, and that platform offers the most innovative all-in-one diabetic eyewear package ever created. And that's for men, women, and children. And then we have a product that was birthed from Dr. Firmin, my brother, who's a diabetic, and it started with a concept or a talk, and now we have the only lens technology for diabetics in the world.
Wow. And Dr. Furman, could you explain a little bit about your background and how you got to the point where this product was, I guess the idea was inspired and birthed?
Sure. So I've been an optometrist for about 22 years. It'll be 22 years on June 1st. And working and having extensive experience in treating and caring for people with diabetes, we realized that there was a gap in the eyewear and eye care space. And in discussing this with Anthony and Clinton, we came up with a vision to basically say, this could be better. And then we basically combined my medical knowledge and their gifts for innovation and manufacturing. And our aim is to just revolutionize diabetic eye care and improve the lives of millions of people worldwide.
Thank you. And could you explain a little bit about how it works? Actually, could you even go back to explain what exactly is diabetes and how does this product treat it?
So diabetes is a disease that is right now considered a global epidemic. By the year 2030, they are assuming that 75% of the people who are pre-diabetic will convert over to diabetic patients. And it is a condition where you have too much insulin. You don't have, excuse me. It's a condition where you've developed insulin resistance throughout your body. And some people need to use insulin. You've heard of people injecting insulin. And then some people take pills to control their insulin levels while they eat food and consume food throughout the day. How it affects your eyes is one of the wonderful things about eyes and eye care is that it's an organ that you can look at without being invasive to the body. It's very, very informative and very telling about the things that are going on inside of your body. So as an optometrist, when we see patients that have diabetic retinopathy, which is blood or fluid in the back of your eye and your retina, we assume that those blood vessels that are the same ones that you have in your brain, your heart, your kidneys, and your major organs are also not functioning properly. While a small bleed in your eye is manageable by controlling your diabetes, and we can partner with your primary care doctor, small brain in your bleed is obviously a stroke. A small bleed in your kidneys can lead to kidney disease. And so eye care is really one of the first lines of defense that we have against monitoring diabetic health for people that are pre-diabetic or people who are diabetic. What LensRx, through our lens DiaVista, the technology that we have used, what it does is it improves patients' vision by the technology that it utilizes to make the vision clearer with the lens, and it protects the eye with 7 layers of UV and infrared protection. So people who are diabetic are more at risk for having diabetic health issues inside of their eye, and this lens will protect them from having exposure to ultraviolet light and to infrared light, which can adversely affect their retina.
Mm-hmm. And how does this differ than products that might be existing in the market right now?
So the lenses that exist in the market right now, while the FDA does specify that you should have a minimal amount of UV protection, there really isn't any regulation in terms of infrared protection at all. So it's not really a requirement. It's something that we believe is beneficial to not just diabetics, but to everyone, but specifically diabetics, as their retinas and and their lenses can be more compromised.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, our level of UV is higher than any other level of UV that that is required by the FDA. Excuse me, our level of UV protection is higher than any other level of UV protection that's required by the FDA. And the infrared is not required at all. Those are things that we decided as a group were important for us to include in a lens that we're specifically making to protect diabetics, in an effort to offset some of the challenges that can occur in your retina, because that's what we believe. We believe that everyone deserves the best, but particularly people who are susceptible to disease deserve the best of care.
Right. And speaking of everyone deserving the best, Anthony, could you go into a little bit about whether it's a corporate responsibility or social aspect, social responsibility behind your business model?
Yeah, the first thing that we decided internally is we wanted to help people at scale. So what we ended up doing as a group of founders is we're offering, which has never been done, we're offering a 40% subsidy. We're subsidizing 40% of the cost to make it accessible to people worldwide. That was one of the biggest transformative things that we thought we could do. So we're pretty excited about that. We also are developing an animated cartoon series called Lens Legends for family and kids around the social determinants of health. So 10% of the 60% that we got left, we're putting that into developing content around social determinants of health. And we already have the characters already developed. Dr. Firmin is actually one of the characters called Dr. Focus. And then my character is called Captain Triton. So it's going to be like a comedic animation series, but we're investing in, that's our way that we figured out how to do education at scale. So, and that will be something engaging that families all over the world can watch and learn from.
Right. And speaking of scale, what are your thoughts on the long-term potential of this business venture?
Yeah, so the way we've looked at this and some of our goals are, we believe that we're on the precipice of disrupting the entire ophthalmic goods manufacturing industry. And our goals is to service, because our whole premise of this whole joint venture between Dr. Firmin and myself is about service. That it's about service, and more service. So we're looking to service 450,000 or more patients, diabetic patients, annually with our all-in-one diabetic packages. So what comes in an all-in-one diabetic package, which has never been put together, It comes with the package comes with a frame. It comes with the Diavista lens technology. It comes with a case. It comes with a soft bag. We even throw in cleaner, and it comes with vision correction, either single vision, bifocal, or progressive. It comes all in a package, and a beautiful package has Dr. Firmin's image on it. So we thought it was important to put a Black woman's image on her own product, right? So we're so excited about it. And we got a lot of feedback about the packaging. So no one has ever did an all-in-one package that way. And a diabetic patient can get their product in 3 clicks. They select the frame they want. They select the color of the lens they want to transition, because it comes with a clear lens. But then we added value by turning it into a transition. When they go outside, it transitions into basically a protective measure based on what their needs are. So we have 13 different colors that helps anywhere from people that for night driving to time kids and adults at work or home for digital devices with the blue light, to also leisure activities like the beach or fishing. So we cover the whole gamut of protection. And then one of the things, Tony, which is unique about this joint venture, is we're the only service-disabled veteran and optometrist duo in the country. So that was one of the things that we thought was unique, and that we could bring that expertise to the industry. In addition to that, the joint venture, we did the joint venture also to level the playing field, because the majority of our other people in the space are service disabled veterans, and they are able to get government set-asides. So that's why at the age of, I'm gonna say my age is 55 plus, I had to come off the sideline to bring my expertise and my service disabled veteran status to the joint venture.
Interesting. So in terms of like challenges, what has been like the biggest challenge so far getting this ball up and rolling? And how was that, I guess, addressed? Is it like relationships with like key stakeholders, or building, meeting potential investors, or other relationships? What's been the biggest challenge so far? And is it ongoing, or is it something that has been addressed, or can you speak to a little bit?
So the biggest challenge, which is our biggest challenge, actually became a blessing. So when Dr. Firmin was going down the path to get funding or financing for the 18,000 square foot manufacturing facility that we're going to build near Temple University Health Science Campus, one of the things, because this was never done, there were 2 challenges. The first challenges was there has never been a facility in a Black neighborhood or an urban neighborhood in the country. So that created some challenge in terms of how do you design a facility that typically is in the Midwest, that's on an acre. How do you design that in the middle of into an urban neighborhood? So we ended up having close to 30 to 40 design experts, and we had the largest ophthalmic goods manufacturing equipment manufacturer in the country give us 3 of his staff full-time pro bono to help us design this facility, because that expertise did not lie in a Black community to be able to design a facility like this. So that was the first one. And we were able to design a 4-story facility, state-of-the-art equipment. The equipment alone, Tony, is like $3.5 million worth of equipment that's going into this building in North Philadelphia. And then the second challenge was when we were going down the path, again, because this has never been done before, the funders said, well, wait a minute. What we need you guys to do is you got to come back with 4 to 7 offtake agreements. Tony, I didn't even know what an offtake agreement was. But one thing I could do, and Dr. Firmin to tell you, I'm one of the best researchers in probably the world. So I came back and I figured, I said, okay, this is what offtake. Basically, an offtake agreement is a commitment from a company that says they're going to do business with you in writing. So that was the biggest challenge, because at the time we were like, wait a minute. They want us to go get a company that do business. We don't have the facility up. We went out to the market, and everybody we talked to was like, well, wait, we'll come back when the facility is halfway done and we'll do this agreement. We're like, no, but the bank is saying they need it now. So what that did was force us to establish LensRx, which is a virtual manufacturing platform in which right now, Tony, we're operational and we can deliver safety, diabetic, and dress eyewear today. So that challenge turned into a blessing, because now in such a short period of time, it forced us to pivot and go out and develop a virtual lab, fully develop all of our products, frames and lens technology. And so now we have a ramp up period now before the facility opens. So that was our biggest challenge. Other than that, because of my expertise and Dr. Firmin's expertise, we mitigated any other challenges, because Dr. Firmin will tell you that while we was going through this process, I mentored under Dr. Firmin for almost a year and a half to learn about optometry. Go ahead, Dr. Firmin.
I was going to say, I call him Dr. Miles.
I was going to ask, was he a good student?
Is he? He's an excellent student. They need to give him an honorary doctorate.
Yeah.
He's an excellent student.
So it's the unique dynamic of our relationship. On one hand, Dr. Firmin is my mentor. On the other hand, I'm Dr. Firmin's mentor. So it works. It really works. And quite frankly, I in our experience in being in the industry, we as people of color could have never broken into the industry without this type of combination, because typically all of our competitors are second, third, and fourth, and fifth generation white male who just pass it on to their family. They don't do a startup. We're the only ones have to do a startup. So I hope that explained to you our challenges, which to me, I'm ex-military. That necessarily wasn't a challenge. I had bigger challenge in my days of being on a nuclear submarine. So this to me was like, okay, that's what they need. Okay, this is what we need to do.
Right. Thank you. And Dr. Firmin, could you express what makes you passionate about this particular, because you, as a medical professional, you could invest your time in, okay, let me go get an apartment building, let me start a, whatever line of whatever you want to start, but this is what you've chosen to do. What makes you passionate about this particular company?
Well, I'll tell you how this whole thing came about was just in conversation with Anthony. And I think we were just talking about my day. And I think probably at that time, I maybe had, 5 people come in and ask me, or who are diabetic, their diabetes is out of control. And they ask me, but I don't know what to do. Can you help me figure out what I'm supposed to do for diabetes? Now, I'm an optometrist. I usually tell my patients I work from the nose up and the eyebrows down, but the eyes don't walk down the street by themselves. And being a Black optometrist, which there are, I think we're still at 1% of optometrists are Black. The community trusts me. I currently have a practice in the Mount Airy section of Philadelphia with almost 6,000 patients now. And they want better care, but they can't get it in a form that doesn't resonate well with them. And just in speaking to Anthony, I'm like, we got to figure out a way that there has to be a better way that we can reach more people. I'm only one me. you know, and 6,000 patients is something to be proud of. But this is a bigger global problem. It's a citywide problem. It's a nationwide problem. It's a global problem. And we can reach people with eye care. Eye care is one of those things where if you can't see, you get an eye infection, your life is impacted. You know, you can't go to work that day. You can't go to work that week. And so imagine how many people there are that lose their vision and their livelihood because of diabetes. And it's something that is type 2 diabetes is completely preventable. Completely preventable. Mm-hmm. But if we can't reach the masses, if we can't reach the people, what are we here for? Especially as medical people and as Black people who care about one another. Social structures break down when people don't have their livelihood. And so in discussing this with Anthony, I'm coming home after a long day. We're meeting, discussing investments and business. And I was like, I'm sure he's probably like, what's going on with you, Chelise? And I was like, man, what a day. And here's what happened to me today. Someone asked me to look at their toe. Someone asked me to give them a glycemic index. Someone asked me to go over their nutrition. And he's like, that can't be. How could this be? How is one person supposed to do all those things? And I'm overwhelmed. Like, I don't know, it's just a rough day. And out of that conversation came, we can do better. We have the resources, we have the brain power, we have the experience that we can come up with an innovative idea, disruptive idea, like Anthony said. And when you speak to challenges, that is one of the challenges to be disruptive, especially in the medical space. It is very rigid. It's not very flexible. But with research and development and technology, and all of the things that are happening with lens and eye care, we are deciding to carve a space for ourselves and for our community in order to not be left behind, basically.
Right. Well said. Anything you want to add to that, Anthony?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, you said the relationship actually started and for context, it actually started with real estate because Dr. Firmin invested in our senior housing project in 2015. So we've known each other 9 years, but Dr. Firmin and her husband invested in our project. And the one thing that I said to myself, I don't know if I told Dr. Firmin at that time, is if Dr. Firmin ever wanted to do something, I'm going to put the full weight of my expertise behind her because she invested in us, right? Fast forward, Dr. Firmin came to us with a vision on something she wanted to do, and I'm happy to say that I was able to deliver on that and help Dr. Firmin with her vision. To get to helping people at scale. It's all about scale with us. It's about, and that's why we developed the healthcare delivery platforms. It's about reaching as many people as possible to affect change at a big level, especially at my stage of my life right now. It's about legacy, and it's about leaving something that for my children and Dr. Firmin's children, that they can point to and say, look at what my parents did. Yeah. So.
Well said. And so what would you say would be the keys to success for this project?
The right now, one of the things that, when we look at a startup, and I never thought I would be doing a startup at this age, but it's all about, like, how do you, an approach with the team is, let's do everything possible to mitigate risk, right? And so what we did to mitigate risk is we only took enough money internally to each of our individual businesses to get us through product development, right? So we didn't take, like some founders, they take all this money in and they're burning through money. And what I told Dr. Firmin, I was like, we only need enough money to get through product development, prove the concept, and also put our infrastructure in place. So when we take in our next round, investors are investing in something that's ready to go to market, right? We've already developed, we have 13 SKUs of safety frames. We have another 14 SKUs of diabetic frame. We have lens technology that has 13 different colors. We have 2 healthcare delivery platforms. All of that stuff is up and operational, and we're ready to go out and start serving people. We wanted to make it an easy proposition for people to want to come in. And let me tell you this, what I absolutely love about Dr. Firmin. One of the things that Dr. Firmin was adamant about when we even took on some of the early investors is she wanted to make sure that, and I wanted to make sure too, but Dr. Firmin was really pushing to make sure there was diversity in investors, in the early stage investors that came into. And I believe, if my numbers are correct, on Dr. Firmin's side, she was able to get 17 smaller investors. So we developed an initiative for Black, healthcare related investors who Dr. Firmin knew. So we are on Dr. Firmin's side. She got 17 of those investors who invested small amount, but that's important that we had diversity. So I absolutely love Dr. Firmin for really standing on making sure it wasn't the easiest thing to do to go out and get. It took a lot of time to get 17 investors in the early stages, but absolutely, Tony, all of them are like, they love the fact that they invested in something that has this large social impact. And then after we got those investors, both Dr. Firmin and myself, each through a relationship that I had, both got a bigger investor that came in and invested $300,000 in my company, and then also invested another $300,000 in Dr. Firmin's company. And that investor is a local person in Philadelphia. So we're really excited about that as well.
That's great. So total, how much have you raised so far? I think you might have mentioned it, but just in case I'm leaving any of the numbers out, how much have you raised so far? And how much do you need to kind of get to the next stage of where you want to go?
We've raised combined a total of 800,000, which was just specifically what we needed to get to complete the product development. And then also one of the things that we have that was done in record time is, during that period, we have all of our certifications. So we're certified with the SBA as a service disabled veteran-owned business. We're certified with Disability In, Navoba. We went and got every possible certification we can get, and we have our MBE. We got all those certifications in 90 days. That's how motivated we were. It was a lot of paperwork, but we got all, see, that's another thing. Now we're able, even in this rollout, we're able to now compete for government, federal contracts and set-asides because we're service disabled, right? So right now we're to actually implement our go-to-market strategy. We're looking to raise $3.1 million, and that'll be combined between both companies. And that will help us we're looking to hire 4 to 8 people full-time. We're also, some of that money will go into inventory so that we have inventory at scale as we're moving. And then we also will use some of that money, Dr. Firmin will use some of that money for equity for the build out of her manufacturing facility in Philadelphia. So that's kind of what we need to really to expand and get to our goals. That will get us to our goals of 450,000 people served annually, and that'll also get us to our goal of 1 million individuals worldwide with our DiaVista technology. Those are our big goals that we're looking to achieve. And Tony, I'm gonna go so bold, and Dr. Firmin know I'm pretty bold, is we see this being $1 billion company.
Hmm. I mean, I see it also, actually.
Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
So that being said, so lastly, I mean, and I was going to ask what your future vision is for the company. Definitely, you know, it's clear that you're on the mission to build $1 billion company here, being innovative in the healthcare space in your own niche that you have abundance of, you know, expertise in, on the medical side, on the business side as well. Are there any, I guess, parting thoughts, or what is an ask that you could ask of our audience and community that would be listening or watching this interview right now?
Yeah, I'll go first and I'll let Dr. Firmin come after me. Right now, the way we're going to get there is through strategic partnerships, and to go international. All of those relationships count. So it's all about relationships. And I'll give you an example. We wouldn't even have got to where we are today without all of the strategic partnerships. We have a strategic partnership with the optical manufacturing company that makes the equipment. Not only are they supplying equipment, not only did they help us with the design for free, they're also going to be training all of the people who work in our facility for free. They're going to train them up. And then we also just got a call with another service disabled vet. He just so happened to be a former nuclear submarine veteran, but he's in Ghana. So now we're in talks with him about, and he has a medical supply distribution company. So we're in talks with him about a partnership to go into Canada and also into Ghana. So it's all about strategic partnerships. And then also if anybody, interested in investing, then we're open to at least take a look at them. Though we're looking for, always looking for the right investors, and investors that want to, do well and make some money. So that's the type of investor we're looking for.
Right.
Dr. Firmin?
I would agree. I was going to say the same thing. Obviously, starting with the investors, we always say we want to go to make some money and go to heaven. We want to do a little bit of both. But the partnerships in terms of engaging with the community at large, the nationwide community and the global community of people with the chronic epidemic disease of diabetes. That engagement with diabetics alone, the support, everyone knows someone that has diabetes, either themselves or in their family. And unfortunately, some people have lost some people to diabetes. And one of the things that I don't mention often, but I lost my sister to diabetes. So this is a project that is near and dear to my heart. But in terms of partnerships, research partnerships, technological partnerships, partnerships with associations that have a meaningful impact on diabetes are relationships that we are always looking to make. And we have made some of the, like Anthony said, the equipment manufacturers, but also the manufacturers of ophthalmic equipment have partnered with us to give us all the equipment for our lab once it's up and running, simply because they believe in our vision. And we are very careful with our alignment with our vision on helping the community and helping people. And we believe that where there are people that have money, like research institutions and universities and business institutions, there's always room for everyone to do better and to contribute to the community at large. Anthony is the go-getter for big investors, and I am the let's you got to have both. Let's reach the community at large. That way we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do the best possible good, and we're going to make some money. And there's nothing wrong with doing both.
And
Nothing
let
at
me
all.
just say thank you, Dr. Firmin. I'm gonna just say one last thing, Tony, which this happened organically with our investors, is now we have attracted investors who and that's why I really love your platform. We attracted investors who also have significant influence in certain industries. Like one of our just recent investors, who just happens to be from Philadelphia, he's has a good position with the American Hospital Association. So my point on making that is it'd be lovely to get some investors who are startups themselves to invest in our company to diversify, and a number of them ones bring something to the table too, or can open some doors. So that's how we're going to get to scale to 1 billion, in my lifetime.
There. Wow. Well, thank you both for joining and sharing more about this amazing project. Dr. Firmin, where can people find you if they need some medical help, or even if they want to learn more about the project?
So they can find me at Dr. Chelise at optomavisioncenter.com right now. That's where my office is. So if you're local in Philadelphia and you need to reach me, and you could find me, we can go to the LensRx website. You can always do is it info, Anthony?
Well, no, I'll give them, they can, it go to service at LensRxLAB.com,
Okay.
or to reach me, it's Miles, Miles, at bv-safetyeyewear.com.
All right.
And my information in terms of this project is Firmin at tiogaoptical.com.
Okay. And I'll include all that information in the notes also. And once again, thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
And looking forward to, hearing more amazing things about this project.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.